Welcome to Behind Olivia O. Today we have the pleasure of chatting with Diane Currie Sam and Jessica Carmona, the writers, lyricists, and librettists of Olivia O. Hi, Diane and Jessica. How are you both?
Hello,
Hello,
we're great.
doing
I'm great.
good. Glad to
So
be here.
let's get started. And could you share a little bit about yourself and your backgrounds in theater?
Jessica, go
Um,
ahead.
oh, sure. Yeah, so I'm a Latina Puerto Rican actress, musical theater writer, lyricist, and book writer. I went to NYU Tisch School of the Arts and I majored in acting, and then I got into playwriting after college. And most recently, I completed the 2-year BMI Lehman Engel musical theater workshop. And I've always felt very passionately about the power of the arts to inspire social change, and the power to uplift humanity and represent underrepresented voices on the stage. So it's just a little bit about me. I love being an artist, and I'm just super excited and proud of this project.
Hi, I'm a little bit about me. I'm from Vancouver, BC, Canada, and I came to theater through writing. I would consider myself primarily a storyteller and a writer. I've written an essayist and a speech writer in my past and a counselor. So I I don't have a lot of background in theater other than being a lover of theater my whole life, having raised a son who was really into theater. And yeah, came through this through writing essentially. So I would say I've had a long career in essay writing, speech writing, and as a counselor, my focus was on narrative therapy and the idea of storytelling as a way to change lives and heal. So that's where I'm coming from. And yeah, thank you.
Oh, dream team coming together with these incredible forces and incredible backgrounds to craft this beautiful show. So, when did you discover that writing musicals and lyrics was something that truly sparked your creativity?
Mm.
Well, I discovered when I just sat down and started doing it. Like I've always, like I said earlier, I love writing, I love storytelling, and I just had this idea, well, you know what, maybe I could do this. And I took my laptop to the library, I studied the form, and I started writing and really just having, writers have to escape into their own heads, right? So just enjoying writing it out and kind of playing with the story and playing with characters. So yeah, I just jumped into it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I was exposed to musical theater from a pretty early age. I went to a performing arts high school and junior high school, and I was exposed to musical theater and dance, and acting, and I just fell in love with it. And I knew that this was what I wanted to do with my life, was a career in the arts. Now, my family was also very involved with social justice work within the Latino community, and I was also very like involved in my church as well. So it took several years for my ideas to kind of crystallize and come together, but I knew that in some way I wanted to do the arts and help people, like help humanity, like whether it was through faith-based work or activism. And I knew that eventually I wanted to write and create my own work in addition to like being in musicals, performing in musicals that I love. I knew that I wanted eventually to create my own plays and my own musicals. And again, that came from a place of, empathy and a desire to work for social change.
So, how did the two of you first meet, and how did the idea of collaborating on Olivia O begin to take shape?
Yeah.
Oh, I say it's divine providence. Yeah, it was so great when I met Diane. I've already written a full-length play about an undocumented Mexican woman who took sanctuary in a church in Chicago, and I had written that and produced it in several different cities, and that was really wonderful. And by that time, I had already been an activist in the immigrant community for many years, and I work very closely in Brooklyn, New York, with the undocumented community. So I was an activist for a while, and Diane, if I get any of this wrong, please let me
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
But I saw a post, I think it was in a Facebook group, a musical theater her Facebook group that there was this musical written about immigrants, and particularly from Guatemala, and that they were looking for a Latina lyricist to come on board and help with, not only translation, but also like authentic Latino immigrant voices. So I reached out to Diane and the original composer at the time, and the rest is history. I mean, we just like Diane's passion and the way that she cares about human rights and immigrant rights. Like for me, it was a perfect fit. I was like, wow, this is such a great opportunity to work on this show. So I was like, where do I sign?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jessica, because it felt the same way for me. Like it was, we really wanted the passions to line up, right? Like to someone who cares about people and storytelling and yeah, has the same core values that we had. And yeah, the rest is history. It just really worked out. We really developed a relationship and we work very well together, right? We create and listen to each other, and it's yeah, it's worked out good.
Dream team.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about Olivia O and walk us through the journey of creating the show from its earliest beginnings to where it stands today?
Well, very beginning was inspired by seeing news reports of what was happening in the story set in 2017, so it was around that time. And yes, it does take that long to get a musical from a concept to the stage, right? It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And just that feeling of kind of rage around, I can't believe that they're separating parents from their children at this day and age when they know that it's a human rights abuse, it's child abuse, it's all been well documented. Like I said, I have a background as a counselor. I've worked with families that have had those kinds of things happen to them, and I knew in my soul how devastating and tragic that can be, and that is. And there's no in that like it was a combination of sorrow and rage, really. Also at the time, my son had just been in a performance of Oliver, which is about that kind of inequities in a child lost in a system in the, I this it was set what in the 1800s in England, where you'd have the wealthy living right next door to the abject poverty of people of children on the streets, right? And I, you mean we haven't gotten any better in since the 1800s? We haven't figured this out
Mm.
that children need to be taken care of and not. So it was that sense of rage around that. And I thought, well, maybe we could just start to see how this might form, right? And then we worked on it. We had multiple dramaturgs. We talked to met. I met with Jessica. I mean, I can't do this by myself. Absolutely not, right? But hey, I was willing to try. You have to get the right people around you. Musical theater is collaborative. And Jessica flew out to Vancouver. Remember that, Jessica?
I do. She flew me
Remember
out to
us?
Vancouver, and I mean,
Sta-
Diane's being humble, but she had a strong, like right from the start, it was a very, really good book, a really good musical. She did a great job writing the original book and the original lyrics. And I was like, wow, this is really powerful, a really beautiful story. And then I kind of came in and I just kind of added the Latino flavor, and I made some suggestions to like maybe, strengthen up certain storylines and plot lines, and like fleshing out the characters a little bit more to add authentic Latino language and flavor and style, because again I had worked for many years with the immigrant community, and particularly from Guatemala. I know a lot, and I had actually done a mission trip to Guatemala years ago with my church, so I kind of knew a lot about the Guatemalan Civil War and the history of the human rights abuses, and the push of migrants from Guatemala to the US. So I brought that knowledge and that experience to the table. And Diane was very, very open and receptive, to my ideas. And we shared back and forth different ideas. And, of course, as always, we agreed on some and not on others. And, it was a very, very beautiful collaborative process.
We
Um,
always laugh about that one song, which shall not be named, that we spent so much. Oh my
we
gosh.
were like arguing, like,
The-
no, no, no.
We
We
yeah, but
feel
it was
so
just back
passionately
and
about
forth. It
it.
was kind of how are we, it was complicated and tricky, and how are we going to do this? And how do
Yeah,
our characters feel? And how do we get this across in the way we want to get it? Oh my gosh.
yes,
Anyways, one
yeah.
song, it was months in the working.
Months in the works, but this, I think, Paint Me a Picture. Is that the one you're
Yeah.
referring to?
Oh, okay. I said
Oh
shut up,
my
but it
gosh,
was.
I gave it away, but it's my baby, and I'm so proud of it. It's like that was a labor of love, and I agree with Diane. It's one of my favorite songs in the musical, and it took a lot of work. Like, how do we, tell that story like in the most economical way, right? As lyricists, you have to write, the passage of time, what happens over several months, all in one song, and show how the characters change over time and what's happening. And I really stretched myself as a lyricist working on that song. And Diane was like, it was a lot. It was a lot of back and forth, like, no, we got it wrong. Let's try again. Let's start from scratch. And just using imagery and metaphor, but, finding a catchy hook. I was really proud of it when we were done.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's stunning. So what
Thanks.
initially sparked the creation of Olivia O?
Mhm.
Well, it was like I said earlier, it was that kind of rage, feeling that maybe I could write something. I honestly didn't, Allison, I did not know enough about the musical theater industry, right? Like, but as a writer, I just wanted to write. I don't know if that makes sense, right? Like, I just felt
Oh,
that,
definitely.
I thought, well, I could do this. It was almost like an artistic.
Mhm.
Sometimes you're just called to do something and you just can't kind of, I don't know, we're all artists, right? That you just have this spark that's calling you toward doing something and you just do it. And it's hard to explain.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, it reminds me so much of one of my favorite lines from a beloved play, John Proctor is the villain. There's a line that says, "We'll use our fire only for warmth." And I think that reminds me
Oh,
so much of the creation
Mm,
of Olivia O because we really
mhm,
took that rage and turned it into something so beautiful. And we took that fire that we felt by seeing these heinous things that were happening, and we turned it into that warmth to show the world
hmm.
that yes, these things happen, but this is how we prevail. And I think that that
mhm,
is why it is such a beautiful and beloved story.
mm. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Allison.
So, what
Yeah.
is the main message or mission behind the show, and what do you hope that audiences take away from it?
Mm. Wow. Yeah. I really want people to walk away from Olivia O feeling inspired because I think above all, it's about how a community comes together to fight for positive change, right? And how through that process, you yourself are changed. It's a story of a young girl who's separated from her mother and she's in search of her family. Once she crosses the border, she's in search of her aunt, and against all odds, she's put in this detention center, and she's determined and she doesn't give up. And then, likewise, her aunt is also looking for her. And again, she's facing a lot of obstacles, but both of them, they believe in themselves and what they're doing, and they don't give up, and they just find each other at the end, and they realize things about themselves through that process that they never realized before. And I really love how it's a female centered story. Like it really kind of amplifies female empowerment. Like one of my favorite songs is Women Are Talking and Getting Done, getting stuff done. So I really like that part of it. Um,
I agree. I think it's about community. It's about resilience. Like as Jessica said, there's this girl and this woman who are both i- resilient and they're pulling it, but then also at the end, it's about the community coming together. Like I I remember saying to people, like, I'm not writing a plucky girl saves herself, right? Because it's not realistic. They're against this system that is overwhelmingly powerful. So we have to, yes, she has to be resilient and she has to stick to her core value and her belief. Like there is definitely that, but also the community and her aunt also have to step up. And I think that's a message for that we as a global community, we have to step up for people are who are oppressed and who are going, like we have to step up together. It it it's a group, it's a community. I I love that. I don't know, the Weave the World song at the end, Jessica, that
Yeah. Oh
is
my
one
God.
another one of this is what's funny when Jessica and I start talking about the songs because we're always like, that's my favorite. No, it's my oh, actually that one's my favorite.
But I think we had like three or four different versions of the final song of Weave the
Yes.
World. Like, what
Yeah,
do
we
we
did.
want
Yeah.
this to be? Do we want it to be an anthem or like a call to action, like keep marching at the end of Suffs? Like, do we want it to be that kind of song or do we want it to be like healing, kumbaya? Like we just had so much back and forth before we finally landed on weave, because the whole metaphor of Guatemalan weaving, that's very much a part of Guatemalan culture and history, to heal from the trauma of the Civil War. They weaved, blouses and handbags and different things, blankets, of course. So the symbolism of weaving, we can weave the world we want. So that was specific to the culture and also to the message of the story is that as a community, we come together as people, we can create and weave the world that we want to live in. And, if you think about what's going on in the US right now, particular, but in worldwide, oppression against immigrants, sadly, the situation has gotten worse since Diane and I began working together. Um, and I was kind of hoping that, as we progressed doing the show that, it would get better. But um, I still believe that the message of the show can be translated to our daily lives in real time, that we can get together as communities and work together. And we already see that happening. We see beautiful things happening in the communities in Minnesota, in Chicago, in New York. Like people are gathering together and they're protesting. I went to a couple of protests, and they're singing also. They're using the music, the power of music as a form of protest as well. Like there's that song, everybody sing it, hold on, hold on. So that's kind of like creating a momentum as well. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like I really want people to walk away with a sense of like, yeah, we can do something. We can make the change that we want if we work together in community. So I want them to be inspired by this story and at least do what they can wherever they are. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I think the most powerful thing too about seeing a show that really changes you is, you're singing the songs on your way home, or you're talking
Mm.
about it on the dinner
Mhm.
table, or you're doing your research about what you just saw, if it's based on a true story or inspired by true events. And I think that's really so important because you can tell that the show did a good job of transporting that message and truly changing the world.
Yes, definitely.
So, what has been your favorite part of crafting the musical, and what challenges have stretched you the most creatively?
Mm,
I
yeah.
gotta say, always the best part for me is the first time you hear the song sung. That
Yes.
moment where, like, of course, Jessica and I were just talking about going back and forth on a song and coming out. And we think at the end when we hand it over to the composer or we get someone to sing it, we think we've kind of, okay, this is it. Then it comes back and you hear this beautiful singer singing it. And there's a sense of just satisfaction and
Mm,
yeah, that's
yeah.
what I was imagining. And this person has nailed it, right? Like that, to me, that's that
100%.
moment where it comes from it becomes real.
Yeah, definitely. To see it come from the stage, the page to the stage, like to have the act, like Diana is saying, to have it come alive, like hear them singing your words, to beautiful music and just bringing the story to life. It's a magical thing. It's a magical thing. Like we wrote that, and you're singing it, and it sounds really good. It's like good job.
You know what else I like though? I also like when the audience laughs
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
have this thing like, am I funny enough? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like I think if you ask my friends and family, they would say I am kind of a funny person. Like I like I can tease and tell jokes and stuff. But when you're writing on the stage, you think it's funny in your head. And then I think, is it just my quirky sense of humor? Or are other people going to get this, right? So so when you hear the audience, the act or the actors in the rehearsals, and they get it that it's funny and they make it funny, and then you hear the audience laugh. I don't know, maybe that just comes from that personality quirk, but I'm like, oh, okay, people really get the humor it's trying to get across, right? Because it's
Absolutely.
not like it's a serious show, but there are some funny moments too, right? Like that we kind of wove in.
So
Yes.
why do you
Yeah.
feel that art, and specifically musical theater, is such a powerful medium to highlight and advocate for the message behind Olivia O?
So the question is, why is musical theater such a, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Well, I'll jump in.
mm.
Just I keep jumping, but
Go
you
for it, Diane. Go for it.
okay. So when I was a counselor, there was a concept that was taught to us called the felt sense in the body. And that change doesn't happen in your head. It happens when you feel it somewhere inside your body. So I could lecture to you forever and you might, well, I'll take it or whatever, I might do it, I might not, right? But if you really are hearing me and you feel it somehow, then you will change. You will change, right? Like, so, you can, if you're an audience, somewhere in the audience are feeling it, that's where the music comes in. They will walk out of the theater and they will think about it. And in my mind, they will change, even if it's a small change, a little bit of an opening of their minds.
Mhm.
They have to feel it inside. It has to be emotional, and music will do that. Like,
100%. I agree with you so much. Yeah, I mean, of course, musicians will know, composers, it's so much is about pitch and the sound, getting the note right, and this rhythm and this tempo and all those details. But really, at the end of the day, music is about emotion, right? About human emotion and how you feel and how that feeling is expressed through sound, right? Like, I think I heard someone use the term, music is sonic emotion,
mm,
right? So
Love
when
that.
you feel something, very much to what Diane is talking about, it impacts you more, and you learn and you understand things that you might not have been able to understand through any other way other than music, or that sound, that feeling of, like, I just, I have my ragtime mug in front of me, but like I'm just thinking, like, make them hear you, make them hear you, like that just goes for the gut. It's just like, it's such a simple lyric, but it's so powerful and effective. Like, I felt that, you know. um so when you feel something at that level, it moves you in a different way than if
Yeah.
you understand something intellectually.
It's
um,
transformative.
it's transformative. Like, there's this line, a few times during the show where Olivia says, "This volcano is alive. This
hmm
volcano is awake." Like, she's about to burst. Like, I'm tired of waiting. Like, I'm erupting. This movement is coming alive, and you feel that in your spirit, in your bones, and that really moves you. And we want our audience to feel that too. And I think they will. I think they will be blown away by the music.
yeah. There's a song sequence of songs, right? There's the um, "Mama, I'm Sorry," which is uh, one of just a heartbreaker, and it was
Yeah.
um, meant to be a heartbreaker because I think if you have that kind of, I think as storytellers we have to earn our anthems.
Mhm.
Okay, so like but when they go "Mana Salabra" and they go "The volcano's awake," like we have to show the audience that there's sorrow underneath it, and we've allowed our characters to show their grief, and then they can show their power. And I think that that's to me that sense of really that how the power of musical theater, not just in the music, but in how the music is shown and how it becomes part of a story. It's like a different layer on top of just hearing a song that you pick up on Spotify, right? Which you can, it's great. Nothing again, obviously, that's that, but if you hear it as a context of a story unfolding, wow, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
that's powerful.
Mhm.
Yeah. As grateful as I am for Broadway cast recordings, they're stunning and you can listen to your favorites whenever you want. It's like you were saying, it's different than, sitting in the theater and hearing those songs come through with the story and with the dialogue. It's two completely different experiences and both are
Mhm.
equally beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
what aspects of building this production have brought you the most joy so far? And what are your aspirations as Olivia O continues on its journey and for its Canadian debut?
Oh, wow. I mean, obviously the friendships. I mean, yeah, I have a new lifelong friend, I've made, friends with certain cast members, most cast members, and just how you grow as a person. You grow as a person, as an artist, as an activist, working on, collaborating with others on a project is, it's not all fun and games. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of compromise, a lot of back and forth. And you just grow. You learn to work through disagreements and challenging situations. That really helps you grow as a person. And as an artist, like when you write something, you think, oh, this is great, she's going to love this. And then, she doesn't, or he doesn't, you learn to see your work like come outside of your own little box, and see how your writing is coming across to others. And what you think is being communicated is often not. And the ability to hear that from somebody else, I was like, wow, Jess, she really pointed out something. Now I'm able to see what I couldn't see before. So that's one part, of what I've learned and, taken from this whole experience.
Wow. So that's it, Jessica, right there, right? Like I, I don't know what to say. It's like learning to trust,
Mm-hmm.
like really to trust that what and take, oh, it's hard to describe, like the feedback, right? That someone, there's times where you can get sort of like, like, because it's your art
Yeah,
and you
it's
have
your
to,
heart.
yeah, you have to let go of control. You
Mm-hmm.
have to let go of ego.
Yeah.
Um, and you have to really trust that, like, you have to be strategic and smart about who you bring into your circle of trust, right? Like you know, Allison, we brought you in, right? Like we know certain characteristics of people, and we have a value statement that we really believe in that, Jessica and I worked on, and um, but yeah, you have to really believe in yourself self enough to sort of fight for your values and your artistic vision, but have enough humility and enough care for the work to drop the ego and really listen to what someone has to say. Really take it in, you know?
So last but not least, when you witness the people whose lives have been touched by Olivia O, what do you hope they carry with them permanently, and what lessons do you hope the world takes away from the show?
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, just I guess to kind of touch back on what we were saying earlier, I really hope that they will take away this message of resilience, perseverance, working together as a team and community, not fighting with each other or, turning against each other, but actually really working together as a team, being considerate of others, respecting others, um, and that change is really possible. If you work together with these shared values, with a shared cause, um, yeah, that not to despair, that change is really possible. That's really what I hope people will walk away with.
So I agree with all that. I also want to talk about the young women that we've seen, right? I would love for them to come out like in the world of arts and theater and in music to think that they can write their own stories. They can be inspired to,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I like this show. I can see what, this group of mostly women are doing, and maybe I could do that too. Or maybe I could get a story that I've written out there, or maybe I could be involved in unique and and challenging art pieces in the future. Like I'd like them to kind of, yeah, wow, this is cool. Like I maybe I could write a musical one day, or maybe I
Right.
could produce a musical one day that they get, because we have dealt with a lot of younger people and of course because it's written that way, Olivia's only
Mhm.
15, like we have, like so, and I would love them to be inspired by even just the idea that they could they could be part of a cool thing or write their own story one day, right?
Definitely want to inspire younger women and
Yeah.
other people who want to do what we're doing. Yeah. Yeah.
And
You
to
just got to
wrap
do it. Follow your heart, follow what
Hmm.
you really want to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
To wrap up, let's go through the history of Olivia O because the Toronto Fringe is really special because it marks the show's Canadian debut. So let's chat a little bit about some of the past productions and now getting to bring it to Toronto.
All
Awesome.
right, I'll rush through the list. All right. We had a
Mhm.
table read in Vancouver. We've had a table read in Dallas. We've had a performance in Dallas at the Musical Writers Festival. We had a concert reading performance in Philadelphia. We had a performance at the She DFW, a couple performances, She DFW in Dallas Fort Worth, and the Spark Festival in New York City, baby. We did that.
Woohoo!
We did that too.
Mhm.
Um, I don't
And then we had
just
like a fundraiser event at the Green Room 42,
That's
and a
right. Yeah.
cabaret event. So we had
Cabaret.
select songs.
Yeah. So, but this, as you said, Allison, is our first Canadian.
Our first
Woohoo!
Canadian show. Uh, Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us and for this beautiful, important, and timely story. And thank you to everyone for tuning in to Behind Olivia O. We can't wait for you to experience the show, and we'll see you at the 2026 Toronto Fringe Festival.
Yay. See you
Woohoo!
there,
Yay!
everyone.
Bye. Sí se puede.